So we're here in Brush Park, and today we're continuing our series of some of the best neighborhoods in downtown Detroit. So I just wrapped up my clients from Australia. We ended up seeing 5 total units here in Brush Park today, and I wanted to share some of the feedback that they gave. I think this will be helpful for you guys. There's a lot of nuances in Brush Park. You know, we're here on Edmond Street. We have City Modern right behind us. So these are the newer builds. Right down the road, you can see they have a new development, which is like phase 3 or 4 of City Modern. Had a couple different phases, but these were the second phase, these red brick. These are 4 levels. They have a rooftop on the front and a rooftop on the back. The main level is really kind of like a living room, second level's kitchen, kind of dining room, third level's bedrooms, and then up top, a lot of them have a bar and then double rooftop as you can walk through. So really cool. And then if you remember one of my older videos, this is the Henry Glover house. Funny story, we ran into the owner of the Henry Glover house. His name was Doug, so you can kind of go back, watch that video, and it's come a long way. This place is absolutely immaculate. Arguably some of the best new construction, which was a rehab on the front half of the house, and then they added tons of units and a garage and like a carriage house in the back. So as you can see, this is the old part of the house, and then the new part of the house, or the condominium complex now, is right here. That is the carriage house. They have an outdoor fire pit here, parking, EV charging station, and then there's an alleyway around back, and those are the garages. But he did a great job. I wanted to tell you about the feedback that my clients from Australia gave here in Brush Park, condo developments, because it's really important to look at the nuances and the different things that are going on in Brush Park, because there's so many different new developments happening pretty much on a monthly basis. There's already on this corner alone, another development being built by Robinson Brothers. Those are going to start in, the low millions. And then there's another development on the adjacent corner being developed. And those are going to start in the millions as well. Really where it started was on Edmond, here in City Modern on Alred Street as well. As we walk down John R., this is the entryway for City Modern. This is where you get into all your garages. So you can pull in here. You're gonna have access to your garage on the left if you're on Edmond, or if you're on the right, your condo is facing Alfred here as well. And then you have a couple of units that are on John R. here. But this house coming up, this is the Ranson Gillis house. This was developed on a TV show. This one's actually for sale, $2.5 million, right now. And this was an iconic part of the development here in Brush Park. I mean, as you can see, got this like nice little turret coming out. The attention to detail is absolutely amazing in this place. And then, that leads us into John R. and Alfred, which, if you look at this street, kind of look down at, this was the original City Modern that they built, and then they extended over into Edmond Street. So this was the original development, and these condos here were the first development of the Bedrock developments, and then they developed them up and ended up selling them off, incorporating different HOAs in here. So there's like 4 or 5 different condo associations, but these were the original units. These are apartments here on the corner. Bedrock actually manages those as well. But these are 4 units, same as the ones on Edmond. You have kind of a living room / office on the main level, which is where this patio is. And then second level is kitchen, dining room, kind of living room area. And then on the 3rd floor is typically the bedrooms. And then 4th floor, you're gonna have a rooftop. Some of these don't necessarily have rooftop partitions. That was one of the drawbacks. When you look up in the rooftop, you can see that on these units. You go out to the roof and your neighbors are just right there. So not a lot of people necessarily like that. So they ended up doing a partition on the upper level, and it's like a faux bush. But this is Alfred. This is the main part of City Modern when it was originally developed. These houses coming up, these were the historic carriage houses. So this one here is a single family home that recently sold for, I think, 1.7 million. This was developed. These were originally going to be developed as apartments when Bedrock bought them, but the city basically said, no, we're going to take those and sell those off. So they made these single family home. This is a condominium. This is a split unit. So there's 2 units in this house. We were actually just in this one. And this condo is the one that my clients absolutely loved the most. out of what we saw today. The character, the attention to detail, the connection with the historic part of Detroit is really what they liked about it. So you don't find that in every single part of Brush Park because there's so many new developments, but these houses still do exist. There's the Henry Glover house is a perfect example. These couple houses, these carriage houses behind me are another example of that, and they're kind of scattered throughout. And I was just over a couple streets over. They're working on a few more historic homes. The house next to the Henry Glover house, that is now being worked on. I talked to the guys that were working out there, and they're like, yeah, we were just doing the work on the Henry Glover house. We worked there for like 4 years. Right now they're working on that one. Those guys, I remember the story. The owner, Doug, was telling me they took all of the castings from the fireplace, and if you look in there, it's kind of hard to explain, but majority of the molding in there was casted. How they make those, they don't chisel those, they cast those molds, and then they install them in like archways and on fireplaces. They did those on site. The trim work in there was great. Some of the newer buildings, that was the feedback from my clients, was we really like the location, we love the vibe, but we're drawn more to the history, of Brush Park. And unfortunately, you don't find too many of those places. So if you are looking to move into Brush Park, that's some feedback from some folks that are a little bit more drawn. If you're looking for a location, this is still close to central, downtown Detroit. You're walking distance to the Ford Field, Comerica Park, LCA, so you can walk over and pretty much hit any part of the downtown area from here. You can even walk over to the Riverwalk. It's that close. This unit right behind us, this is apartments as well. They are going to be renting these out for new restaurants. Right across the street, these are apartments looking for another retailer or restaurant on the main level here. And then right around the corner is another apartment complex as well. And then there's a few more historic houses down this way. This is the one that they're working on. They'll be coming to market in probably a year or so. This is where we started. These condos here, they're brand new. Clients weren't super impressed with these particular units, just from a location perspective. They really liked it, but the parking and the back alleyway became an issue for them. There's not a lot of street parking. There's not a lot of room for guests. You can tell they're getting ready to do new development here on the corner of Watson and Brush. So this development is going to be 2 and 3 bedroom condominiums, Elementa of Brush Park. Okay, so they're going to replicate a little bit of like city modern vibe, but they'll be townhomes, 4 stories, looks like. A lot of developments are happening down here, and just wanted to give you guys an update on some of the things that were happening in Brush Park as we kind of walk around. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and just to summarize, we're wrapping up and kind of getting a debrief with my clients, from Australia. They are in love with Brush Park. Right? No doubt Brush Park is the place for us. It's one of the most vibrant places, in downtown. Corktown's lovely, Midtown's lovely, they said, but we are just drawn to the Brush Park because of the location, because of the connectivity to the downtown area. Their heart's set on this. Is that for everybody? Well, no, but there's also a lot of other developments that are happening in the city, and that's the great thing about it is you got to be here and see what each of these developments are about. Before we even met, I told them, before we go look at any condos, you need to go look at Corktown, look at Midtown, look at Brush Park, look at the downtown area, look at the Riverwalk, go over to all these different areas so you can get a feel for what the surroundings are, right? And kind of get your vibe, because it becomes a lifestyle, perspective. You want to be able to be in the area and understand, do I feel like I'm connected to this particular area? I know it's maybe a little bit cliche. Detroit's got a lot going on. There's a lot of new construction, a lot of developments, but you just got to be here to kind of feel it and find where home is that speaks to you. So if you guys have any questions about any of these neighborhoods in Detroit, hopefully you guys are enjoying this series. Don't forget to subscribe and tap that little bell so you're the first to learn about living here in Michigan. And hey, if you are moving here in 1 month or 1 year from now, do not hesitate to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, or better yet, schedule a Zoom call down below in the description, and I look forward to talking with you soon. So until next time, keep an eye out for the next video that we are releasing about downtown Detroit, and we're going to be covering a little bit more of Detroit every single week. So stay tuned, and I will see you on the next one.